Welcome to our first video for Surya Namaskar A. It's nice if you have two yoga blocks, or maybe two books or something that resembles blocks for your practice to do some modifications. So let's start with the alignment of the asanas within the flow of Surya Namaskar A. Let's get to our mats and let's sit down. So we start this practice seated on our mats in order to connect with the earth underneath us through the sitting bones, and to connect with the spine, the length of the spine rising out of the hips. So you can take a moment to settle in, to close your eyes, and to notice how your body is feeling at the start of this clinic, this practice together. See if you can relax your face. If you like, you can take a deep inhale through your nose and slowly exhale through your mouth, emptying the lungs, emptying the mind. Let's do that again. Deep inhale. And exhale, release the breath. And with that exhale, you feel more connection with the earth underneath you. And then inhale, one more deep breath through the nose. And then exhale, releasing. Wonderful. And then allow your mind to dive a little bit deeper into your body, connecting with your breath wave. Noticing how the breath is traveling up and down the spine, the central channel, the center of your body, of your being. And our focus point of our practice today. So notice how your sitting bones are relaxing into the earth. Every exhalation helps you to root down more, find that safe and solid foundation. And then with your next inhale, draw the lower belly slightly in, and then feel how you can lengthen the spine, filling the lungs with prana, life energy, a breath wave. Crown of the head is rising up. And then without losing that length, exhale to your roots again. And let's practice that again, inhaling, drawing the energy from the earth up through the center of the body, all the way to the crown of the head. And then exhale, without losing that length, relax the face, the shoulders, the space around the heart, the ribs, the belly, the groins, all the way down into the earth. So stay with that practice of breathing your nice deep breath and visualizing the energy moving up and down, maybe literally noticing the energy going up and down on your own for a few breaths. So the breath wave is moving up and down those beautiful curves of the spine, the natural curves. Honoring them, using them. And then you bring one hand to your lower belly. You can open your eyes in a gentle gaze. And then notice how you can draw your lower belly slightly in. And there's a gentle shift of weight to the center of the sitting bones. And then guide your belly a little bit more in and up without lifting the shoulders up. And then bring your other hand to the back of your skull. And then you move your back of your head into your hand. And then maybe you notice how that engages the lower belly a little bit more, and how this creates length in the spine. So the crown of the head is rising up. The lower belly is drawing in and slightly up. And there's no forcing. There's just this gentle activation that connects you with the central line with a sense of stability, which we need. We always start from stability before we start to move. So maybe you close your eyes and you feel the length in the whole spine. There's a gentle dropping of the chin towards the heart once you start to move your head into your hand. And then you keep that awareness as you bring your hands in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, prayer pose, deepening the breath. And then you can bring your hands down, and on an inhalation, without losing that long line of energy, reach the arms up to the sky. So there's a gentle opening of the sides of the body without lifting the shoulders. And then exhale, bring your hands down through center, keeping that length in the spine, the connection of lower belly and back of the skull. And let's do that 2 more rounds. Reach the arms up on an inhale, like wings rising up, no tension. And then exhaling slowly, bringing the hands down through center. Wonderful. Just awakening the shoulders, the sides of the body, inhaling, rising. Reach through the fingertips, but keep the lower belly active. And then exhale, bring your hands down through center. Wonderful. So slowly shift your hands in front of you and come onto hands and knees. And we create a tabletop, spreading your fingers wide so your hands are nice and big, and you really claw your fingertips gently into the earth. And you lift the palms of the hands a little bit off the floor. Your shoulders are above your wrists and your knees are underneath your hips. Now you can let go for a moment, just, let the pelvis hang. And then maybe this already gives you a little bit of discomfort in the lower spine. So this is not what we really want to do. So root the tops of the feet into the earth and then start to draw the lower belly in and then reach the crown of the head forward. Bring one hand to the center, so a little bit more to the central line, for you to be able to bring your other hand to the back of the skull again and then root your head into your hand. And again, feel that lift of the lower belly, feel the engagement of your core and length in the spine. Now, without losing that, bring your hands back, shoulders above your wrists, and breathe. Nice deep breath. So you feel that same long line of energy as you felt seated. You feel that now as well in tabletop position, okay? So this is sort of our basic alignment of the spine, preparing ourselves for Surya Namaskar A. So now bring your knees a little bit closer together, draw the lower belly in, the crown forward, and then slowly on an exhale, reach through the ball of your right foot and create one line of energy. So it's not about the height, it's about length, about drawing the lower belly in and keep hugging the back of your head into that imaginary hand that is holding the back of your head. Now shift your weight to your right hand and the left arm is joining in, and you create one long line of energy from fingertips through the crown of the head to the sitting bones to the ball of your right foot. And see if you can find one line. So it's not about height again, it's about length. Now bring your left hand down and then tuck your right toes into the earth. And make sure that your heel is above your toes. Okay, so there's a 90-degree angle of your right foot. Now from here, press into the ball of the back foot and crown reaches forward and start to hug your arms a little bit inward. So it's like you want to move your hands towards each other without lifting them off the floor. So there's this activation of the inner arms. Draw the lower belly in and then step your left foot next to your right foot. Press into the toes, heels above your toes, crown reaches forward. And see if you can find the long line of energy. And then bring the right knee down. And then lift your left leg off the floor. Again, it's about length. Keep drawing the lower belly in, chin slightly towards the throat. And then move your right arm forward. So we're creating this awareness of the midline, center of your body. Inhale here. Exhale, only bring your right hand down. Tuck your left toes under. Draw the lower belly in. Keep the line of energy and step the right foot next to the left foot. In plank pose. Shoulders are right above the wrists. And then slowly bring the knees down. Sit back for a moment and start to roll the wrists. So make sure your wrists are happy during the whole practice, always actually. Especially when we're balancing on the hands, also in downward facing dog later. Important to have the hands spreading out over the earth. Hasta Bandha. Wonderful. Okay, so coming back to tabletop. So we're going to make a transition now to low plank, but we will do a modification first. And it's important that the modification is actually a step that helps you to build up strength to eventually go into the full pose of Chaturanga Dandasana, low plank. Okay? So the aim for the modification is to build up strength. Okay? So we will create the same long line of energy in the spine from crown to sitting bones by bringing the hands a little bit more forward and then shifting the hips forward, drawing the lower belly in, reaching the crown away from the sitting bones. So you create a diagonal line from crown to sitting bones, lifting the heart a little bit forward, spreading the collarbones at the front. Now inhale here, and on your exhalation, only bend your elbows and bring them close to the ribs. Keep hugging the lower belly in, try not to let it go. And use the power of your legs, of your lower belly to press up again, inhale. Try not to hang your head down, but keep your ears in one line with your shoulders. And then exhale, again, bending the elbows, coming halfway down. Use the lower belly, the tops of the feet pressing down to come up, inhale. And exhale, lower down halfway, and then come all the way to the earth. So maybe you feel this is already taking some effort to push yourself up, but in the modified way, okay? So coming down onto the earth, maybe rest your forehead down for a moment. Just notice how the front of the body can relax into the earth. And then lift the head up and start to root your feet into the earth. So the tops of the feet root down, and that helps you to lift the knees off the floor. Then you bring your hands just above your underneath your shoulders. Crown of the head is reaching forward, so you look down to your mat, and this keeps the neck nice and long. So keep that awareness of hugging the tops of the feet into the earth, hugging the elbows in, and then start to draw the lower belly in towards the back of the body. So there's a gentle lift of the navel away from the earth. Now keep looking down, and then on an inhale, draw the lower belly in more, and then press into the earth with the feet and the hands to lift to cobra. Hug the elbows in. And then exhale, slowly coming down without losing the connection of feet and lower belly. Let's do that again, inhaling to cobra. So we're awakening the spine in a modified version of upward facing dog. So the legs and the pelvis are on the floor. You lift up with integration of the core. So lower belly in, tops of the feet rooting down. Exhale, coming back. And then bring your hands back. Inhale, shifting to hands and knees. And then exhale, tuck your toes under. And relax the heart towards the earth. Now feel length in the arms. Come onto the tops of your fingers, so the fingertips rooting down. And see if you can lengthen through the arms. Draw the lower belly in and bring your ears in one line with the inner arms. So feel length in the spine, without dipping into the shoulders, without losing your lower belly. Wonderful. And then slowly come back up, spread your fingers wide. Now lift your sitting bones up to the sky and reach the crown and the crown and the sitting bones in one beautiful line of energy. Downward facing dog, which is one beautiful triangle where you can relax the backs of the knees And you hug the lower belly in, the ribs in, towards the back of the body to keep that long line of energy. And you start to walk forward. You can always bend your knees a little bit. Bring your feet hip distance apart. Bend your knees and then just bow your head down. Bring your fingertips in front of you. Release the neck. You can look to the sides. You can go forward and back with the head. Saying yes. Face is relaxed. Now look at your feet and spread your toes out wide. You can lift the 10 toes off the floor and then spread them out over the earth. And then you make a square, beautiful square with the feet. Okay, so the outer edges of the feet are parallel to the outer edges of the mat. Beautiful. And then draw the lower belly in, start to round the spine and roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae, to come to standing. All right. So this is actually the preparation before going into Surya Namaskar A. But Surya Namaskar A, of course, starts with standing. And before we stand still, we start with a gentle movement from left to right. So shifting your weight to the right, to the center, and to the left. You can bring your hands onto your hips. Try not to look down to the feet, but look forward. Bend your knees a little bit, and then notice how you can really connect with the earth. Maybe you bounce a little bit to feel that connection with the earth underneath you, which gives you stability. So you connect with gravity. Wonderful. And feel how you're spreading out your feet over the earth, moving from left to right. Beautiful. And then you come back to center, and you start to sway back and forth. You can also bring your arms alongside your body. So you move to the heels, through the center to the toes. Maybe you can close your eyes for a moment just to really feel the full feet spreading out over the earth. Nice. And then you come back to center. Bend your knees a little bit more and then hold your pelvis with both hands. What you do now is you're going to tilt the pelvis forward, which is giving you an arch in the back. And then you slowly tuck your tailbone under, and then maybe you notice that you're rounding the lower back. So feel that range of movement in the pelvis, tilting forward and back. And then see if you can find the middle. Like the pelvis is a bowl, and you do not want to spill any water out of the front of the bowl nor the back. So make sure the pelvis is in neutral position. And the more you bend the knees, the more you can feel that relaxation of the pelvis and the dropping of the sitting bones towards the earth. Okay? So with your knees a little bit bent, you start to hug your legs towards each other like we did with the arms before. But do not lose the outer edges of the feet. So root the outer edges of the feet into the earth and then hug the legs towards each other. So you feel activation of the inner thighs. And then from there, you can bring your hands onto the pelvis to keep the pelvis neutral. You start to lengthen through the legs and you feel that power in the legs. Then you bring one hand onto the lower belly and the other hand onto the lower back. And then start to draw the lower belly in and slightly up. And feel length in the back, in the lower back. Keep engaging the legs, keep engaging the lower belly. And then you can bring the hand that was at the back to the back of the skull. Like we did before, moving the head into the hand and feel the climbing up of energy through the spine all the way to the crown of the head. Feel the engagement of the lower belly. Keep on breathing. Do not hold the breath. So keep that fluidity of energy moving up and down the body. And without losing that length, that stable foundation, you bring your arms alongside your body for Tadasana, mountain pose. You can close your eyes for a moment. Feel the strength and stability with every inhale, the rising of energy up through the center of the spine into the crown of the head. With every exhalation, without losing that length, you feel softening of the face, the heart, the shoulders, the belly, the groins, the legs, all the way down into the earth. So feel that balance between steadiness and ease, starting your practice of Surya Namaskar A. All right. So we start with the feet hip distance apart. That makes life a little bit easier when we go into the forward bend. You can grab your 2 blocks and bring the blocks in front of you, in front of your feet actually, and the feet are hip distance apart. Okay. So coming to Tadasana, feel the hugging into the midline, the drawing in of the lower belly and the length of the spine. And I reach your fingertips to the earth without pulling the shoulders down. So this is relaxedness to the shoulders, and this is reaching down of the fingertips. Then you open the palms to the front, and on your inhale, you start to reach the arms up, and you find lightness. Reach through the fingertips, and exhale, draw the hands down through center, like we did when we were seated. And then let's do that again. Inhale, arms rise up to the sky, lengthening through the sides of your body. And exhale, bring the hands down through center. We go one more round like this. Inhale, from the earth you rise up without losing your feet. And exhale, bring the hands down through center. Okay? So now inhale, arms reach up, find length, keep that length, and then you start to tilt from the pelvis. As the hands come down, you tilt the pelvis forward. You can always bend your knees a little bit if you need, and then bring your hands onto your blocks. So if your hamstrings, the backs of your legs are now complaining, then bend your knees simply, yeah? Press into the blocks, so you really reach away from the blocks, so you're spreading out the collarbones at the front. Draw the lower belly in and the crown forward, and maybe you lengthen through the legs. Now try not to lean back, because then you really feel you're hanging in the hamstring attachments. So bring your weight to the middle of the feet, and you again create a sort of a tabletop with lengthen the spine, and again bring one hand to the back of the skull and lift the head into the hand, engaging the belly, and then bring the hand back. So this is Ardha Uttanasana, the half forward fold. So draw the lower belly in, hug your legs in towards each other, and then you can move your hands to your shins. Bring your fingertips onto your shins. Lift the heart, inhale. And on your exhalation, you start to reach the heart for the earth. You could bring your hands onto the blocks again if you need them. You can bend your knees, that's another modification. And you find as much length as possible in the spine. So maybe the knees are bent, maybe you're lengthening through the legs, you hug your ribs into your thighs, and you can walk your hands next to your feet. So modifications are knees bent, hands onto the blocks. Yes? So feel what works for you today. And then you could bring your feet together, so the big toes are touching, and then you feel the difference. Okay, so let's go into Ardha Uttanasana with the feet together. Draw the lower belly in, the crown forward, press into the blocks to find length, to find core integration. And then from there, maybe you walk your hands back to forward bend. And again, bend your knees when needed. All right, now inhale, press your fingertips into the earth, maybe with bent knees, reach the heart forward, crown forward. And then on an exhalation, you step back to high plank. So find that alignment again, spreading your fingers wide, hugging the center of the palms away from the earth. And I reach the crown forward, lower belly in, and remember the head moving into the hand. Reach the heels back, so the heels are above the toes. And if this is too much for you, bring the knees down. Draw the lower belly in, the heart a little bit forward, so you create a beautiful long line of energy. Now from here, if you have the knees down, you do the same thing, bending your elbows to come halfway down. If you're in a full plank, what you do to go to Chaturanga is to press into the toes to shift a little bit forward, bend your elbows, and come into a 90-degree angle with the elbows. Now from here, that was Cobra. In the previous round, or you stretch the feet out, you press into the tops of the feet, and you open up the front in upward facing dog. So now hug the lower belly in, press away from the earth, rise up and look forward, don't look back. Okay, so keep length in the neck. Now bring your knees down, draw the lower belly in, tuck your toes under and bring the sitting bones to the heels. Inhale, gentle lift of the heart, draw the lower belly in. So this is a transition that gives space to the front. And then on your exhalation, slowly bring your sitting bones up, up, up. You can keep your knees bent to find length in the arms, the ears in one line with the inner arms, and you really reach your hips up, up, up. Keep the knees bent and glue your ribs to your thighs. Draw the lower belly in, and then see if you can lengthen through the legs from here without losing that long line of energy in the spine. So if you notice that you're rounding your spine, bend your knees again and reach the sitting bones up. Remember the beautiful long line of energy of the spine. That's the main focus of all the poses in Namaskar A. Then from here, on an inhalation, you step the feet in front of you, lift the heart forward, maybe use your blocks, maybe use your shins. And an exhale with knees bent. You can bow forward or you reach your sitting bones up and you bow down. The fingertips hugging into the earth. Now keep rooting the feet down and moving them towards each other like you create one leg. Draw the lower belly in and then reach the arms up through the sides. Keep the shoulders relaxed as you open up. Urdhva Hastasana, and exhale, bring the hands down through center. All right, so that was Surya Namaskar A, and I would like to show you something, because when you're in Tadasana with the feet hip distance apart, and I'm going to demonstrate from this side, you can bring your arms in front of you and then bring your palms away from you. And this is basically high plank. And in high plank, you're not hanging in your lower back. And you're also not bringing your hips up. But you keep that alignment of Tadasana also in your plank. If this is impossible for you, then bring the knees to the floor, not a problem. Okay? So lowering down to Chaturanga brings the elbows close to the ribs and the hands in front of you. So no elbows reaching beyond the ribs, because then the shoulders are not so happy. Yeah? So remember the alignment of Tadasana throughout the whole sequence of Surya Namaskar A. Okay? So see if we can move through the series now in a one breath, one movement pattern. We're going to do that together. And if you want to use your modifications, so you maybe bring your knees to the floor before going to Chaturanga, or you go to Cobra instead of upward facing dog, feel free. So choose your own practice. Okay. So let's flow together through Surya Namaskar A, using that integration of the techniques we just learned. So you can bring your feet together, the big toes touching, arms alongside the body, and then remember, strong legs, strong lower belly, long spine, hugging your ribs in, so there's no spilling out of the ribs, so hug your ribs in towards your lower belly. Crown of the head rises up, and the face is relaxed. Fingertips reach for the earth. On an inhale, the arms rise up to the sky without too much effort. Reach through the fingertips. Now exhale, tilt from the pelvis, reach the heart forward as the hands come down. And then maybe bring your hands onto the blocks or next to the feet and bow down in Uttanasana. Inhale, draw the lower belly in, the crown forward for Ardha Uttanasana. Of course, feel free to keep your knees bent. And then exhale, step back, and then lower down. Knees or no knees, Chaturanga Dandasana. Maybe there's a cobra coming up, or you stretch your feet out and you reach away from the earth, opening up in upward facing dog. Now use the earth to move away from it, draw the lower belly in, and come into downward facing dog. You can always bend your knees to lengthen the spine. Remember, strong hands, strong fingertips, drawing the lower belly in, the ribs in, breathing your nice deep breath. Finding stability and ease at the same time. And then slowly you step forward, bring the feet together, inhale, lift the heart. And on your exhalation, walk your hands back, hug your ribs to your thighs, and bow down. Finish the movement, Uttanasana. Inhaling, strong legs, rise up, arms rise to the sides. Keep that hugging in of the lower belly and the ribs. And exhale, come back to Tadasana, mountain pose. All right. So if you like, you can flow through your Namaskar a few more rounds, just to practice the integration of the techniques. Or if it's enough for today, you can maybe release the wrists. So we have been on the wrists a little bit today. Maybe you want to stretch the shoulders, reach your arms behind you, roll the shoulders back, reach the arms away from the earth. And then you hug your arms in, right above the left, reach the elbows up, and come down, and let's do the other way around. Reach your arms out, left arm over the right, lifting up, draw the lower belly in, and exhale, come down. Inhale, arms open. Feel the reach to the fingertips. And then exhale, bring the hands in front of the heart. Feel free to come to Shavasana for a few minutes to receive the practice, to integrate the practice. Maybe you want to sit in meditation for a few minutes, which has the same effect. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy practicing this, integrating this, and see you soon for Surya Namaskar. Namaste.